Hi Pisces, welcome to July. This is your Taroscope and astrology for the month of July 2020. Cancer season. The astrology for you Pisces is really quite magical. There's a lot of fifth house energy with the Cancerian eclipse just passed at the end of June, the sun being in Cancer, Mercury in Cancer, a second new moon in Cancer towards the end of the month, and also a lot of 11th house activity. Capricorn energy. Jupiter, your traditional ruler, is in your 11th house. The lunar eclipse is in your 11th house and it's connected to Jupiter. It's also connecting in harmony with Uranus in the 3rd. So to summarize, it's a lot of creative potential to generate or create or manifest just about anything that you'd like. The eclipses usually make that kind of space. And there is this rule that when you make some kind of space in your life or something is removed, the universe of the laws of energy, it has to fill it, you know. For a lot of you, I think that space is in career. I think a lot of you are having big shifts, big changes in terms of your business, in terms of what career you'd like, you know, whatever point in your journey you're on. This year marks a big turning point. And luckily for you, Mars is, it's as much as it's affecting other people, for the rest of the year, it is giving you a lot of energy in how you generate money, how you generate financial security, financial abundance. And you're not a naturally materialistic person, but you are creative, and money is energy, and you could create quite a lot in 2020. Now let's talk about the eclipse, because in your 11th house of wish fulfillment, particularly having an eclipse connect to Jupiter, your traditional ruler, in your sector of wish fulfillment, and it is about friendships as well, we'll get there. But Pisces, this is quite a month to create the life that you'd like going forward. The full moon lunar eclipse is also well aspected to Uranus in your 3rd house of communication. And that means that your words, your writing styles, your message has a lot of power. There could be something you say that a lot of people want to listen to. You could really reach to some very, very wide audiences. You could really have a lot of impact if you work in communications, if you work in media. But the written word, whether you journal, whether you script, whether you manifest, whatever it is, the written words and what you say have a lot of witchiness to them. You could really speak things into existence very quickly. So that is a double-edged sword. Be careful with that. You want to make sure that what you're asking for, double-edged sword, Ace of Swords. Double-edged sword. You need to be very, very clear that what comes out of your mouth is what you want to have projected back to you. Very, very clear. And if this month gives you anything, Pisces, it is clarity on what you want, which you need sometimes. And it's not your fault, it's just that Neptune is in your 1st house, and Neptune in the 1st house can make things feel very foggy. Particularly if you are the first couple of weeks of March, sun sign wise, can make things feel very foggy. You're getting a lot of clarity this month. The sun actually connects beautifully to Neptune. So creatively, and romantically, and in terms of heart-spaced passion, you get a lot of clarity. And your words have a lot of power. A lot of power. And I know that I'm emphasizing that and probably sounding low-key dramatic, but you really do have a lot of power. What you put out into the world is so important in July. Yeah, because it could really come back to you very quickly, even if it's dark. If you feel in some way restricted, Pisces, it's because of Saturn moving back into Capricorn. And it's not there to restrict your progress. It's not there to restrict your manifestations, your wishes, your accomplishments. It is there to make you very careful about what it is that you are putting into the world. since 2017, you may have noticed, Pisces, that you can think yourself into trouble very, very quickly. And you have to be careful about that, because this is your final exam. If you could rule your mind between now and December, you could do a lot. But if you let your mind rule you in that devil-like space where you feel restricted, where you feel trapped, you'll get much of the same. That's why this is a double-edged sword. But if you tap into that beautiful Piscean energy of creativity, of love, of compassion, see, Pisces is a very powerful sign, but it's often underestimated in terms of power. And it's passive power. It's being powerful in a passive way, allowing things to come to you, allowing your energy to work for itself rather than you try to control things. That's why you go with the flow so beautifully. That's why you make the most amazing things happen when you do the least at times, you know? By just being present, by just being in the moment, by just being in a sense of peace that you find when you do something creative. And creativity for Pisces is so personal to the Piscean, sun, moon, or rising. You know, you can create through helping people because you're creating love, you're creating compassion. You can create through art, whatever it is that is meditative for you, that allows the energy to flow. High Priestess. Are you aware of your duality? The dark and the light, the secrets and the openness, the mystery and the truth? It's quite amazing, actually, this energy. It's when you're in your spiritual power and you're in alignment, and I think that's what you're aiming for. You have so much divine potential, so much creative potential, so much magic within you that you could surprise yourself and spook yourself just as easily in July. So you're going through the Death card and the High Priestess, a little bit of a spiritual rebirth, where you understand your shadow side, where you understand the parts of yourself that you don't like. Maybe you feel in this world that you've been regarded as a dreamer, too passive. Perhaps you've been regarded as lazy. All those things that get thrown at Pisceans, particularly when they're young and most in touch with their magic, their creativity, their playfulness. A lot of July, with Mercury being retrograde in Cancer, is reconnecting with the parts of yourself that still very much exist in your ether, in your escrow. Very Abraham Hicks. You're going through a bit of a spiritual rebirth. It was always going to be that way with Pluto in the 11th, with Mercury in the 1st, Neptune in the 1st, Mercury in the 5th in retrograde. A lot of it is pulling you much closer to the divine, the serendipity, the synchronicity, the signs that you can't ignore. But that's a personal rebirth. That Death card is very much about you. And what you can accomplish now that you are shedding those restrictions and you're understanding that I have power in a different way than a Capricorn has power. That a CEO, the people in suits, the people that are great with numbers, the people that are very logical and based in what they perceive to be their reality, those kind of things that you can inhabit too. But you have this ability to see beyond that. You have this ability to see beyond what is in front of you. You have this ability to see into souls, into the future, into your own future. And that's what you're doing in July. So in terms of what's coming for you, Six of Wands, what's coming to you is recognition. What's coming to you is success. That eclipse in Sagittarius last month that was in tricky alignment to Mars in your sign has really pushed you to want more for yourself. To be somewhere where you're respected, to be somewhere where you're acknowledged, to be somewhere where your quirks, your traits are celebrated. You will do very, very well, Pisces, by being yourself. And in terms of friendships, in terms of the people you surround yourself with, if some of them want to go, let them go. Saturn can restrict those connections to others because they are not your people. It can restrict those connections to friendships that are using you or using your compassion, your empathy for their own gain, and draining you and depleting you of your resources. You want to be somewhere where you're appreciated and with like-minded people. Jupiter in the 11th, a likelihood of attracting like-minded people, very wise people. People that you can lean on, people that you can talk to, people that you can get information from. You know you need that a lot. And I know that most of the Piscean people, Sun, Moon, or Rising, are the type of people that their friends go to with their problems. Who do you go to? Do you go to somebody? Do you offload? Or does it end up being about them? That's important. You too need someone to learn from, to understand. Even if it feels very, very hard to let certain things go. Let's talk about romance. Very romantic month for you. Very passionate, very creative, a lot of ability to manifest love as well. Really, Pisces, it's open season. What is it you'd like? How would you like your relationship to go? How would you like to attract someone? How would you like to turn things around? For a lot of you with Mercury retrograde in Cancer, there is somebody from your past who is keeping quite an eye. Still checks up, still wants to know, still interested in what you're doing. I think for many of you it could be an air sign. An Aquarius, a Libra, a Gemini. And in July, when your energy blossoms and you look your best and you feel your best and you're magnetic and you're creative and you're in your own space, of course the people that use that energy are going to want it back. Or they're going to at least want a piece of it, albeit on their terms. Magician. You're so magnetic, so powerful. I don't know how to say it else without being very repetitive. Your words have power. In love, your words also have power. I think for a lot of you, there is a sense of anxiety about the people in your life, a lot of worry about people in your life in some regards. Or perhaps you find that people worry a lot about you. Queen of Wands, Nine of Swords, Five of Wands, and the Two of Swords. Passion, creativity. If you're not used to using it in your day-to-day, if you're not used to tapping into that energy as much, it can bring up a lot of stuff in your subconscious. It can bring up a lot of feelings. You can really channel through some memories the more creative and the more passionate you get. And as you look into your shadow side, as you're doing, you might be quite upset with yourself for denying yourself or not sticking up for yourself in certain occasions. But you, Wheel of Fortune, perfect way to end the reading. You may be remorseful or regretful of something you've done or didn't do, Pisces. I think it's more something you didn't do. There's a likelihood that opportunity comes around again. But not only that, in being passive, in places and opportunities and conversations where you didn't stick up for yourself before, or you didn't do right by yourself, you have no idea what you might actually have avoided. You have no idea what you might actually have missed. In some regard, Pisces, your miss was your mercy. And now it's all turning around again. Wheel of Fortune. Jupiter. Aspecting the eclipse. You're turning it all around. No matter how unsteady things feel. No matter how scary they feel. And if you're dealing with a fire sign, the stars seem to be aligning. And if it's not a fire sign, it is your passions. Moving forward much more seamlessly, much more connected to something bigger than you. Much more in tune with who you really are. Dropping that mask, acknowledging that shadow, and realizing that there was a lot of power and a lot of potential and a lot of necessity in that shadow. It all stemmed things around. It's okay to be the way that you are. In fact, it's glorious. In fact, it's a beautiful thing to be the way that you are. Even if the whole world has organized itself so that Pisceans can feel very out of the fray. It's your moment to shine. Just be selective of who you share your energy with. And if people are confrontational with you about your newfound optimism, your shine, your ability to create something out of nowhere, perhaps they're just a little bit peeved that you're using your energy for yourself for once. But you should still do it. Thank you for watching, Pisces. I will see you in the extended. It's linked below. Love you very much. Have a wonderful July, and I will see you later. Bye.